You've reacted to your demotion in the debates as positively as you can. You say, put up a podium, I'll talk about the issues wherever it is. But for a candidate whose slogan is tell it like it is, how big a setback, honestly?
It's really not a big setback, but I obviously don't prefer it. I'd rather be on the other stage where I was for the first three. But here's the thing. This is part of the problem with Washington all along, Chris, right? Everybody's looking at polls rather than talking about principles. And our campaign's about talking about the principles that we really believe in. And if we had less of that in Washington, D.C., we'd have a much more effective government. And I'm just going to keep being who I am. The telling like it is part is me being myself, saying what I mean and meaning what I say. That's what I'll do on the stage Tuesday night in Milwaukee. And the next day I'll go to Iowa and just keep doing it, keep working.
As we stand, sit, kneel, or cower on the verge of yet another Republican presidential debate, the demotion of Christie and Mike Huckabee to what is commonly referred to as the kids' table tomorrow night should bring us pause and reconsider not only how we select our president, but what we utilize in order to make that call. In other words, we need to step back a moment and reconsider what the debate has become and why we need them even in the first place. We've never really borne witness to such a feeding frenzy as the GOP debates we've seen slog across our sets. Some would say far too many candidates. Others would counter that the Republicans have the luxury of having more qualified men and women to run America than the Democrats would ever hope to conjure up. Points for both sides. But we do need to note that it's obvious the Democrats are currently scouring the countryside seeking somebody, anybody, who can mount a challenge to Her Highness Hillary. Someone who did not lead Maryland and the city of Baltimore down a path of social, economic, and racial ruin, or someone who would prefer America become a socialist nation while at the same time trying to keep all those damn kids off his lawn. The current GOP debates are non-intentional, hysterical slapstick comedy, barely managing to turn over a single policy issue that would keep the average American's interest for more than 6 seconds. They have instead denigrated into reality laugh and insult fests that Republicans everywhere should be ashamed of. At a time when this nation yearns for real leadership, we instead are handed arrogance, one-upmanship, whining platitudes, and little in the way of red meat. And proving how dysfunctional and laughable the system is, here's New Jersey Governor Christie, not doing well in some polls, but last time we checked, actually trending upward in New Hampshire, one of the most important political states in the process. One of the very few candidates who talks about issues and delivers solutions. Bumped off the main stage and in the process maybe given the biggest break anybody could get. Christie now gets to try his hand at mastering the also-rans, and if recent history is any indication, he will chew them up and spit them out. But who cares? The debates mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. Primetime showcases for the networks and a reason to preempt failing sitcoms. It's when people like Christie say things on the campaign trail that gets the attention of America, or at least it should. Shock polls and debate reactions, nothing more than pablum for a starving population that either doesn't have the time or doesn't want to spend the time to learn about the process and the truth about candidates and their claims. But let's give Republicans their due. At least they have yet to fall for the fawning and cooing method of political partisanship as put on display by a noted primetime liberal hack and her tough-as-nails guest.
If you had time to learn a new language, which language would you pick?
Spanish.
Why?
Because we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people in our country. I want to know how to communicate better.
Oh, please. And for that, Mad Maddo gets her campfire badge for being the biggest suck-up member of the media, though using the words suck-up and media in the case of liberals is about as redundant as water is wet. Enjoy the debate, revel in the snarky tidbits, expect the defending of book comments, then come back here and let us tell you what you really missed and really need to pay attention to and really need to learn. That's my opinion, telling it like it is. Rock on, true believers. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night on The Hardline.